Also at 4 o'clock, evacuations are scheduled to be lifted at this hour in Pagosa Springs following those devastating floods that we saw. That could be dependent, of course, on water levels, and people are being told to stay alert with the chance of more rain tonight. Evacuations remain in place for those along Vallecito Creek. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff.
I'm Kim Christensen. Since early Saturday, at least 90 homes have been damaged in La Plata County. Our weather impact team hit the road to bring us coverage from southern Colorado. About 55 miles east of La Plata County, the San Juan River in Pagosa Springs rose out of its banks, causing widespread flooding. 6 inches of rain fell in some places, and there could be more in the next few hours.
Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen joins us now. And Corey, you've had a chance to tour that entire area. The river is still raging behind you, and the damage is there.
Yeah, you know, we had a very lengthy break today. You can see the sun is out here in Pagosa Springs, and that has allowed the rivers to really dramatically decrease its flow. But with that said, like you said, Phil, you can see the river behind me. This is the San Juan. This is going straight through the middle of downtown Pagosa Springs, and it is still looking very angry. It's technically still above flood stage, which is 10 feet in this location, but it's down more than 2 feet from where it crested this morning. So the damage here is not exactly, it's not easy to tell, really, the damage that this one does, because the San Juan has a lot of room in that river channel, and all it's really done is swelled out of its banks. Completely different story in Vallecito, where we spent most of the day. That river has the ability to get outside of its banks and create new river channels. And that is why the damage in Vallecito is so very extensive. We toured the area with the sheriff out there, and he said that about 90 homes estimated do have some sort of water damage. They didn't go inside evacuated homes. They're just kind of eyeballing the scene to see what homes may have incurred damage. But really, it came down to 2 homes. That was really the most interesting part of this. They call it a flash flood because things can go from bad to worse in a flash, and that's what was happening on Saturday night as the river was swelling, the water was coming down the hill, the banks of the river were starting to erode, and the water was starting to create new channels. There were 2 homes that were teetering on the edge of going into Vallecito Creek, and they basically just had to make a decision very quickly whether to allow those homes to fall into the river or try to prevent that from happening.
The chief began discussions with the homeowners about the danger that's represented by that home, possibly going into the water, coming down and hitting public infrastructure, taking out a bridge, those kind of things. And working with those homeowners, I understand he got consent to go ahead and do the demolition so that we would lessen the danger of further impacts to the rest of the community.
So this is something that I have never heard of before and I've never seen, but they preemptively decided to demo those 2 homes, assuming that they would eventually go into the creek. And what they were worried about was those homes going downstream and just hitting things, causing damage downstream, in particular a very critical bridge, a roadway to that community on the north side of Vallecito. So in just a very difficult decision, as the Sheriff Sean Smith there described, the fire department working with those homeowners, and the homeowners said, yes, demolish our homes because we don't want them to cause any more damage downstream. So those are the 2 instances of homes actually lost. The rest of the damage is water intrusion and roadway damage, which they will be assessing. They're hoping to get people back into that community by Thursday. There are so much going on. There are power lines, there are propane tanks that are compromised, and there are also roadways that are completely washed away, not to mention some water quality issues that they have to work out. That is the reason why people are still being held back from that mandatory evacuation zone. But as the weather kind of improves a little bit, that does make there be a little bit hope that they can get into that community a little bit faster. Reporting now from Pagosa Springs, meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen for the 9 News Weather Impact Team.
It's an incredible story.
Yeah.
Never, like he said, never heard of that.
It's an amazingly thoughtful and selfless decision. Just incredible. I've never heard of anything like that either. Corey, thank you.